So you are searching for the best place to live here in Salt Lake City, Utah? Well, you are in luck because that's what we are going to be chatting about today. Let's go ahead and get started right now. Mariah Koehle here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your very first time here. This channel is literally everything you need to know about eating, working, playing, sleeping, and living in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. If that is of interest to you, consider subscribing down below so you don't miss our weekly videos. We hear from people like you all the time who are looking to make a move or relocating here to the Salt Lake City, Utah area, and we absolutely love it. So if you are thinking about making a move in a month, in a year, in a couple years from now, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and it would be our pleasure to connect with you. So you are searching for the best place to live here in Salt Lake City, Utah? Well, you are in luck. Today we're going to be talking about a few different things, criteria and whatnot, that hopefully can help you figure out the best place for you to live here in Utah. So number one, first and foremost, reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and let's connect and find out what it is that you are looking for. I've had people contact me from all over the country asking, hey, you know, Mariah, I'm thinking about moving to Salt Lake City, and this is what I'm looking for. Some people, schools are very important. Some people, it's jobs. Some people, it's the housing. Some people, it's the area and the distance to the airport. Whatever it is that you are looking for, let's figure out what that is first, and then we can tailor what, you know, the different areas and neighborhoods to you specifically. So recently I've had a few families that have reached out and have said, hey, you know what, schools are very important to me in my house search for moving here to the Salt Lake City area. I said, okay, great. You know, what are you looking for? Some are looking for private schools, some are looking for public, some are looking for charter, some are, right? So depending on what it really is that you are looking for in the schools, we can tailor our house search for you. So number one, with schools, some of the best school districts here, niche.com had put this out a little while ago. Some of the best school districts they had mentioned were in the Cache Valley. They are in Summit County, South Summit County, and Heber City school districts. So some of those are the strongest, you know, most well-known school districts around. Kaysville has some excellent school districts there as well. So depending on what it is that you are looking for with the education route, we can direct you in whichever direction you are wanting to go to for that. So schools, number one. Number two, let's hop right into the job situation and job markets. Now, I know a lot of people that have been moving out here to the Salt Lake City, Utah area that are relocating from out of state or even in state, but moving, you know, to different neighborhoods, different cities, whatnot. Lots of people that have reached out have the luxury of being able to work remotely or work from home right now. I know there are lots of jobs that are allowing that, or sometimes they have to, you know, go into the office once a week, twice a week, once a month, whatever your job situation is. Since Salt Lake City is so close to an international airport, I know I've had clients that have come out here and are able to work remotely, but they need to fly back to wherever their hub city is for their job. And some have to do that, you know, once a month or quarterly, whatever that is. Maybe Salt Lake is a good fit for you in the job, you know, in the job market, if that is, if it works out for you in that job situation. If you are wanting to find a job here, Salt Lake City and the Utah area is known for having an employment rate less than 3%. And it really encourages work and people to come here, to bring their small businesses here, to bring their large business, to bring businesses here. So if you are looking for jobs here, the job market here in Utah currently is very strong. So might be a good option for you. Number three, because Utah has such a thriving and robust economy here, Number 3 is definitely going to be lifestyle. The lifestyle here in Utah allows for a very active lifestyle. If that is something that you're interested in, you will see, lots of parks. You see lots of people doing things here, lots of outdoor activities. Of course, you've got world-class skiing and snowboarding. The snow is amazing, but also, I went hiking with a friend this last week, and this friend actually was a client not that long ago, and they had moved their family out from the East Coast. And we were just talking, and she's like, oh my goodness, since the 6 months that we have been living here in Utah, she's like, my husband has joined like a road biking club. He's getting into mountain biking. She's like, I've got a hiking group. She's like, I just did my first sprint triathlon. And she goes, we lived an active lifestyle back in the East Coast where when we came from. However, she's like, this takes it to the next level. And she just talked about how her kids in the neighborhood that they're living in, she goes, we've never felt like we've had this many friends. She's like, we always were outgoing and doing things, but the number of friends and relationships and whatnot that they have now here has just increased drastically. So with the lifestyle, they feel like that has been a great fit for them and their family. So something else to consider if you are thinking about making a move out here to the Salt Lake City, Utah area. Number 4, we are going to jump right into weather, because we've talked about the schools, we've talked about the jobs, we've talked about the lifestyle. Now weather, figuring out whether the climate is going to be a good fit for you or not will be something that's really important for you to be able to figure out. I remember years ago when my husband was finishing up grad school here, I had really only lived in Northern California for the first half of my life. And I remember, the coldest it really got where we lived close to the Bay Area, and we didn't see snow. We didn't see a lot of those different things. So I remember when we moved out here the first time, I thought, okay, how cold is it really? And we lived right in Provo, Utah. And it got cold, but it wasn't as cold as Park City, or wasn't as cold as some of these other places that are even the elevation is higher up, but it was chilly. So for some people, the weather is a deal breaker, but for others, they welcome it and they're like, oh, they love it. And it was funny, I was just talking to somebody else the other day, and they had moved here from Northern California, and they moved here a couple of years ago. And she was saying like, oh, for Thanksgiving, we went up to Sundance, and we just had the best time in Sundance because it had just snowed like 2 days before, and there was just a light little dust of snow on the mountains. And she goes, here we are in cozy little Sundance, and they had rented a cabin, and they had Thanksgiving actually at the Sundance Resort. And she just said it was the most magical Thanksgiving they've ever had. She's like, I kind of want to do this every year if we can. I don't think we're going to get away with it, but she's like, I don't know if my family's going to appreciate that, her extended family, but she's like, it was so fun. So she's just like, for everybody, it's very different. They've loved it. But for some, the weather might be a deal breaker. The summers get hot. They don't get as hot as Southern Utah. Southern Utah definitely is a lot more toasty than it is up here in Northern, in the Salt Lake City area. But weather is definitely a factor and something you want to take into consideration when searching for a place here in Utah. And number 5, last but not least, the home search is probably going to be one of your deciding factors. And I've gotten actually several people have reached out recently that have said, hey, I'm moving from Arizona, or I'm moving from Texas, or I'm moving from back east, and I think I just want to rent first before I actually, buy something here in Utah. But then on the other hand, I've had clients that have said, hey, you know what? Actually, I'm thinking I want to buy first, and then I can kind of figure out later on if this house is not the right fit for me. Hopefully I've built some equity in it. And because rent prices and house prices have gone up so much, that at least they're continuing to build that equity. In my personal opinion, before we actually moved here, we bought a house and we actually didn't even know the neighborhood. We had flown out here, we had driven out here, we had done what I would say is our due diligence, and we had really checked it out, but we hadn't met any of the neighbors. We had, we've driven around the we drove around the neighborhoods. We got a good idea of what it was like. We took our kids with us. We researched the schools, we researched jobs. We did a lot of that here ahead of time, but then the actual home search, we bought the house and then we ended up moving in later. And for us, and I can only speak personally for us, it ended up being a great fit of, hey, you know what? This may or may not be the neighborhood that we stay in forever, but it's been a fantastic fit for us. So again, for you, if you are thinking about making a move or relocating out here, I would highly suggest coming out, taking a peek, looking at some of the different neighborhoods, seeing what the vibes are, seeing if that is a good fit for you or your family, and then kind of going from there. And at least you know one way or another, like, yes, this is it, or hey, you know what, maybe Utah isn't the right fit, or yes, Salt Lake is, and this is the neighborhood I want to be in, and I want to continue my home search there. So you are searching for one of the best places to live here in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. Feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and it would be our pleasure to connect with you. Take care and have a great one. Bye.